Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Ball, the YouTube channel where we discuss big picture NBA. On today's episode, we'll be looking at the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have done a good job building a young core of Trae Young and also Kevin Huerter and John Collins. But where do they go from here? As usual, we'll look at a best case scenario, a worst case scenario, and then what's more likely to happen as well. On this episode of the Offseason Atlanta Hawks Edition. The Atlanta Hawks shocked everybody last year, trading back and drafting Trae Young. It's looked like it might not be that great of a move in the first couple of months, but he turned it around and ended the season on a very, very high note. We also didn't know how good of a playmaker he was, and his ability to shoot off the dribble really helps that along. They also, in that draft, were able to pull off a guy named Kevin Huerter, a shooting guard who is 6'8", can defend and can shoot, and obviously got some respect throughout the NBA. They also were able to draft the year before John Collins out of Wake Forest, who was a big that had some shooting touch, but now he's able to pull out to the three-point line, and that has really, really changed his game. He's an explosive athlete and looks to be good going forward with this Atlanta Hawks crew. Best case scenario for the Atlanta Hawks goes through the draft. After last year's draft day trade, the Atlanta Hawks now have the number 8 and number 10 selection. But who do they target for that number 8 and number 10 pick? I currently have them in my mock draft taking Cam Reddish out of Duke. Cam Reddish is supposed to be a very, very good shooter, as well as a good playmaking, point forward kind of player. Standing at 6'8", his shot looks good, everything looks good, and he passes the eye test. However, there were some times where he would just disappear during games, and you can't have that at the NBA level, especially out of a guy you're taking in the top 10. His stats at Duke also backed up that he did disappear a lot. Sound like anybody we know? Now let's go down Tobacco Road and take a look at another NBA draft prospect for the Atlanta Hawks. A guy who is flying under the radar that I believe could be a great NBA player is Nasir Little. Standing at 6'6" and 220 pounds with a 7'2" wingspan, his profile as a defensive player is amazing. He also profiles as being able to be at least average at the NBA level offensively as well. This is the kind of guy you need next to Trae Young, who desperately struggles on defense. Another guy to look at would be Sekou Doumbé out of France. He's a long 6'9" combo forward that's kind of more of a project piece. He's shown an ability and a feel to do almost everything on the court. His athleticism is good. Everything is good. It's just a matter of if he can put all the pieces together. With the Atlanta Hawks having the number 10 and number 8 pick, I really, really hope that they do not waste it on someone who will not be conductive to the core moving forward. The Atlanta Hawks have a very, very exciting team going into the future and have been getting a lot of publicity for it. They're a team that has been talked about as kind of tanking the correct way, and they've been very exciting to watch. Another player they could add that would also be exciting for them would be Thomas Bryant out of Indiana. For the Washington Wizards last year, he played very, very well. His per 36-minute stats have been very, very good, and I think he could be the guy who gets a shot going forward. He's only going to be 22 going into this year, and he's an intense goofball that would fit in very, very well with this Hawks core. But what could they do that would be detrimental to this progress? I think Taurean Prince is a big key to this offseason. The Hawks have a boatload of money right now, and Taurean Prince's contract is up here soon, and he's going to be a restricted free agent. The Hawks need to be careful not to overpay for a guy who is going to be a bench player combo forward in the future. He just doesn't have the offensive nor defensive prowess to be a starter in this league. However, I do believe he can bring energy off the bench. It's just not something you break the bank for. If they also do not break the bank for a player who is on an expiring contract that a contending team doesn't want, like a Gasol or a Whiteside, that is a epic failure to me. Now, what is their most likely scenario going forward? I believe they need to continue to bring in old, established veterans like Vince Carter, like Jeremy Lin. I think that's going to be something that helps these guys going forward, especially with this young, unestablished core that they have. If they can pull off a good couple of wings in the draft and sign a Thomas Bryant, and then go out and keep maybe Vince Carter and go get a Marc Gasol, that could really, really help them going forward in their development. Marc Gasol is a pro's pro and a winning player. However, he does have a player option this year for over $25 million, and if Kawhi Leonard does happen to go west, I just don't see the Raptors wanting to keep him. So what do you see going forward for this Atlanta Hawks team that is young and good? How do you see their 2 draft picks being utilized? As always, like and subscribe, please comment down below, and thanks for watching.